Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and today I bring you Loot from 10 Hours of Money-Making Methods AFK Edition. My day today will consist of the following AFK-able monsters and activities as shown on screen here. I will be spending 1 hour per monster and activity, and we will see how much profit I can make by doing each of these things individually. 10 different AFK money-making methods are listed, but stay tuned towards the end of the video where I will be showing an extra 2 that aren't listed. Now, first off, we are going to be killing brutal black dragons for 1 hour, but before we dive deep into this AFK money-making guide slash video, can you just imagine for 1 second if Raid Shadow Legends sponsored this video? I mean, you guys would get to hear all about its awesome collection of over 800 unique champions, a super detailed and tactical RPG battle system, incredible graphics, and intense combination of PvE and PvP content. Well, luckily for you guys, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Now, you guys know I love running 4 accounts at a time, but in Raid I can handle over 800 champions at a time. Now, I personally only have 145, a few level 50s, decent amount of level 40s, quite a few lower level ones that I'm working on. But I mean, it's always fun to summon new ones with ancient shards. The better the shard, the more epic the champion. I did receive a rare metal shaper from my ancient shard, and from my mysterious shard, which doesn't really cost much at all, a thrall, so it's not bad. I mean, there's so much to do on Raid, guys. Here we have many different missions to take on, so many different quests that are daily, weekly, monthly, and advanced. And let me just go ahead and check on my AFK'd monsters over here who are training with me putting 0 effort in, so I gotta love that. And hey, everybody likes free stuff, right? Especially when the free stuff in question is a legendary champion. Check out Sun Wukong, Raid's take on the Monkey King from Chinese mythology. You guys know about the Monkey King, right? He's made his grand appearance in the game, and it couldn't be easier to get him. Simply log in on 7 different days between now and October 23rd to get your hands on him. There's no demons to slay, no journeys to the west to undertake here. Just log in and get this awesome legendary champion for free. Now, with all this exciting stuff and much more to come on Raid, if you haven't started playing yet, then what are you waiting for? Use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get insane bonuses. We are talking an epic champion, Talia, from the Sacred Order faction, and other useful things too: energy refills, skill tome, XP booster. Once you're in and crushing your enemies, come find me under the name Mr. No Sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the battlefield. Big thank you to Raid for sponsoring today's video. Alright, let's go ahead and start that 60-minute timer. As promised, we are rocking the Duke bet. I promised you guys I would take him everywhere from now on, so here we have him. Now, as you can see, the inventory setup for this is relatively easy. Just 2 prayer potions, 1 anti-fire, and 1 divine range potion. The gear is really always up to you. I kind of just went with basic gear throughout this whole video, depending on what we're killing. But Elite Void seems to work very well here, and I know for a fact that Blessed D'hide works good too, and it also offers you some additional prayer bonus, just like Elite Void does. For my weapon of choice, I did a Dragon Hunter crossbow as well as Amethyst broad bolts because they're only 300 GP each, and they're very effective as goes for the DPS. This is actually my favorite of the 10 that I'll be showing you on this account. Brutal Black Dragons just, I don't know, they have a special place in my heart. I killed them for 40 hours straight when they first came into the game, and I remember at the time I used a blowpipe and I actually lost money on that grind. I'll never forget it, so you got to be very careful with what ammunition you use here. I'm sure a Twisted Bow would work just as well. And also, it's important to mention that you can bring High Alch in a rune pouch because you are going to be receiving a lot of rune and dragon drops that are, likely to be high alched, and you can save you a little bit of inventory space. But for some of the monsters, I brought high alch, and for some I didn't, and I just decided not to with the Brutal Blacks. Brutal Blacks are also known to drop hard and elite clue scrolls, which is great if you're into that, but this is really just an AFK-able monster for you to make some consistent GP an hour. So I didn't really highlight the clues too much during this video, but I'll definitely complete every clue scroll after the end of each hour if we are able able to get one. And as we reach the end of our first monster and our first hour of today's video, I will say that the only requirements you need for Brutal Black Dragons is access to the Catacombs of Kourend and 77 Slayer. Also makes for a good Slayer task, but these are mostly known to just be killed off task for good profit. And speaking of good profit, we completed our hour, so let's go ahead and see how much profit we made and how much we spent on supplies. Alright, 59 kills in 1 hour, 1.4 mil profit, supply cost of 250k, which means the real profit is about 1.2 mil an hour. Not bad at all, and it's really good range XP over time. From the hard clue scroll, just a basic 55k, but that's the first monster of many to be shown today, Brutal Black Dragons. Big fan of them. Alright, moving on to monster number 2, none other than Rune Dragons. For this one, you do need Dragon Slayer 2 completed, and these are not as AFK because you do need to pay a decent amount of attention so you don't die. So you could make the argument that these are not considered to be the most AFK-able monster, but then again, I feel like so many people have Rune Dragon alternate accounts that, you know, the same argument can be made that they are AFK-able. As you can see, wearing this full tank gear setup that really doesn't cost too much these days, it's good tanking, and it really just depends if you want to bring a Dragon Fire Shield for more defense bonus, or if you just want to bring an Avernic Defender to get faster kills. I went with good bonus as it goes for my helmet, my body, and my legs, but as it goes for my shield, I wanted to bring Avernic just to maximize my kills per hour. Dragon Hunter Lance works here very well, and it's, you know, it's gone down so much since it came into the game, so it's very affordable, and at the same time, if you're super rich, then feel free to bring full Torva here instead of just this year. And also, I realized that Void Waker, no doubt about it, is the best in slot special attack weapon. I saw the same guy in Torva continuously use it this hour, and he was specking nothing other than 70, so if you can afford that, definitely bring it. But I went with a more relatable setup, so I just brought Dragon Claws. They're about 70 mil cheaper, and yeah, they're probably half as effective as the Void Waker is, so just something to keep in mind. Other than Dragon Slayer 2, though, you do need high melee stats. I wouldn't recommend Rune Dragons unless you're 90 plus all combats. That seems to be the perfect number for trying these out, and this is definitely another monster you should bring high alch at. So we finished our hour with 56 kills, total made 1.65 mil, and after the cost of supplies, we made 1.5 mil profit. Now, keep in mind, I did pick up every Dragon Bone, but I don't think you have to make that sort of profit. You might even be able to get more kills an hour if you decide not to pick up the bone, so that's up to you. Now we move on to the third AFK monster of today, none other than Skeletal Wyvern. You do need 72 Slayer for this, and I would recommend a setup similar to mine, just full bandos as well as the Dragon Hunter Lance on pound, and a Dragon Fire Shield works very well here, as well as an Ancient Wyvern Shield. Just kind of depends on what your budget is. These used to be very popular when old school RuneScape first came out. You could never find a world that had less than 6 people in it. Pretty sure there used to be a lot of bots here, but I don't see too many these days. I see more bots at the Fossil Island Wyverns compared to the Skeletal Wyverns. But for this monster, it is nice to bring a herb sack because they do occasionally drop unnoted herbs that are worth money, as well as a rune pouch to high alch all of the rune drops that you may receive here. And you really don't need as much food as I brought. I just always overdo it with my inventory, but they don't hit you that much at all, so I quickly fixed my inventory to just 2 prayer potions, and I prayed Protect from Melee and Piety the whole time. You definitely don't have to pray Protect from Melee. It just had been a while since I've been here, so yeah, just bring a minimal food, maybe like 15 sharks. It should do it for a full inventory, and then just 2 prayer potions and preferably a divine super combat. I really like these Skeletal Wyverns because there's so many that they're always going to be in combat with you, and if you find, you know, that there's a little bit too many people in your world, you can always switch worlds and quickly find a more emptier world so that you have more so of a chance to just always stay in combat, and that way it makes it more AFK, and they're so easy to kill that you really don't have to worry about dying here or getting comboed out like you can at Rune Dragons. If you can't afford a DFS, which is only like 3 mil right now, you can also bring a Mind Shield or an Elemental Shield. It's not as good, but it'll still get the job done. And as it goes for just banking, I just used my construction cape to bank, and then of course I would use my POH fairy ring, and banking takes no time at all. It's actually pretty AFK, especially if you have the shortcut unlocked. But with all that being said, we did a successful hour with 68 kills. With best in slot 650 mil gear, you can definitely get more than that an hour, but 68 kills is not bad with this setup. Overall profit 1 million GP, but 100k was spent on supplies, so that leaves us with about 900k. Not too bad at all for the very minimal effort required. Now we move on to AFKable monster number 4, none other than Vyrewatch Sentinels. For this one, you do need completion of Sins of the Father, so it does require quite a bit of questing. If you're not a fan of that, I'm sorry, but there is Quest Helper. For this one, you can bring max strength if you want more kills an hour, because it's going to be AFK no matter which setup you do use, but if you want this to be insanely AFK, I would recommend prayer gear such as Proselyte, Initiate, Holy Sandals, Monk Robes, whatever it is that you have access to. Now, the main profit that you're going to be seeing from these Vyrewatch Sentinels is right there on the floor, none other than the Blood Shard. Current price is 5 mil. It's a 1 in 1400 drop, and on average with this setup, I was getting about 110 kills an hour. Now, without that drop, you're not going to be making as much money as you would at all the other monsters that you're going to be seeing in this video, but I would say out of all the other monsters, this can be probably perceived as the most AFKable, because you can just stand here for so long and they'll continuously attack you. If you bring high alch, then that will limit your banking, and as you can see, the other drops are stackable and noted, so that's a huge bonus, as well as the fact that there's an altar that you can use so you don't actually have to use any supplies here other than combat potions. So I find that incredible. And after you're done AFKing, you can do the hard clue, because you're always going to be getting hard clue scrolls here. Well, with that being said, we killed 109, 5.4 mil profit, 400k an hour without the Blood Shard drop, which is actually a lot more than I expected. So yeah, that's really successful. Very limited supply costs, so it's all profit basically. 67k extra from the hard clue as well. All right, let's go ahead and move on to AFKable monster number 5, none other than the Gargoyle. So you're definitely going to want to bring high alch for this one. You're going to want to bring your best in slot melee gear and weapon. I do hear that Smash works pretty good against these Gargoyles, so I was going to go with a bludgeon, but then it said that Avernic Defender and Rapier is better than a bludgeon, so I guess just use whatever weapon suits you best here. You're not going to need any prayer potions unless you want to pray Preserve the whole time, or if you're very low combat and you take a lot of damage here, then I guess it's justified to bring prayer potions for Protect Melee. But if you go with a Saradomin Godsword as your special attack weapon, that should take care of your HP, and if you're really desperate, feel free to bring a set of Fogolins. That should also help you out immensely. But for the most part, if you just bring a little bit of Sharks, then you should be fine with a max melee setup similar to mine. And the one thing I love about these Gargoyles is that the price of the Granite Maul that they drop is 215k. I'm pretty sure that used to be 50k, so the fact that it's 200k now means that your profit is going to skyrocket, especially if you manage to get one every single hour. On top of the Granite Maul, you're going to be receiving a ton of rune items to alch, a lot of bars that are noted, luckily for you, and pure essence, as well as death, chaos, and fire runes. Gem bag is also nice to bring here, and after our hour, I managed to kill 199 Gargoyles with 1.1 mil profit being made, and probably a supply cost of less than 50k just from the Divine Super Combats and the few Sharks that I did eat. So that Granite Maul definitely helped out a lot, and those are Gargoyles. Decent strength XP an hour and so many alchs, so yeah, big fan of that. Also got a Tooth Key and 681k just in GP, so it's really good for Ironman as well. Alright, now let's try an hour of Abyssal Demons with a Venator bow. I wish I had better range gear, but this is just an example, so I mean, you know, Crystal should get the job done. Ideally, Missouri or Armadillo should be good for this as well. I guess Crystal isn't bad, but I feel just odd using full Crystal without the Bofa. But either way, as you can see, the cool thing about this bow is that it hits multiple targets at one time, making this extraordinarily AFK, and a really cool thing about this is that it's good for collection loggers if you're missing the Abyssal Head or the Abyssal Dagger. I know the astronomical rate of the Dagger, but you can still get it if you stay here long enough. Thousands of kills is very possible with this setup in no time. And you also get very good range XP. As you can see, I'm nearing 200 mil, almost 9 mil XP away from 200 mil range, so that's pretty crazy. But it would be a great idea to do something like this for 10 million range XP, you know, see how many whips I get and how many daggers if I'm lucky enough. So many Dark Totem pieces as well. That's one benefit of doing anything in the Catacombs of Korinth, is that these Dark Totem pieces stack up very quickly. I actually built a full totem from scratch just in this hour, and I received a few Ancient ancient shards as well, but unfortunately no whip. The whip is very important to make profit here because without the whip, the profit is very minimal, but everyone goes on their dry streaks. So overall, 1 hour completed, 207 kills, 132k range XP an hour, and about 200k profit. After deducting the cost of supplies, it's probably down to about 100k, so not the greatest in terms of profit unless you get that whip, but it stays very AFK, and we got 91k from the clue scroll as well, so that's nice. Alright, we've now covered 6 AFKable monsters. Let's move on to number 7, none other than Ancient Wyverns. You do need level 82 Slayer in order to kill them, and I would recommend a similar setup to mine. Dragon Hunter Lance works very well here, and Void Waker is no doubt about it the best in slot special attack. That'll speed up your kills a lot. Herb Sack is also pretty nice to bring here because you do get some unnoted herbs, but I just seem to have forgotten it. High Alch is also good here because they do drop quite a few alchables, but they do hit somewhat commonly, so you're always going to want to bring a full inventory of food. I would say it is worth it to pick up the bones here, but since Wyvern bones are only 2.2k, it's really up to you. I mean, a lot of people out there kill brutal black dragons and never pick up the bones, and some people kill wyverns and they don't pick up the bones because the other drops just outweigh the value. That's purely up to you, but since they hit so often, I figure I don't mind picking up the bones, and it's all extra profit in the end. So overall, really great monster. The drop table is incredible. You get so many onyx bolt tips. Sometimes you can get upwards of 15 and make 130k just in one drop. A lot of rune kite shields and a lot of blood runes as well as a lot of alchables. I wasn't going to be picking up the fossils this time because I just didn't need the prayer XP from them, so that's something to keep in mind. I did get a granite longsword, which is 1 in 600. It's only 18k though. You can also receive granite boots, which is 1 in 600, but they're only about 200k. But on the off chance that you decide to kill thousands of these while AFKing, you do have a 1 in 10,000 opportunity to receive that Wyvern Visage, which is a big ticket item at a price of 18 million GP. No hard clues from these wyverns, but you can expect elites at a 1 in 350 drop rate, so who doesn't love elite clues? Other than that, you can occasionally get some food drops that'll extend your trip and some super restores that'll help you out as well. I would say these are my second favorite out of all the monsters that I've killed today. Still probably going to rank brutal black dragons as number 1, but these would definitely be number 2, not far off from number 1. 1 hour of Ancient Wyverns completed. As you can see, beautiful 6 battle staves noted, and overall 64 kills, 1.45 mil made, and after the cost of supplies, 1.3 mil profit in 1 hour. That's really good, and they never really get close to killing you. It's very laid back. I gotta say, I love Ancient Wyverns. There's a lot of bots at spitting wyverns, but none at the Ancient Wyverns. And from the elite clue, 150k as well as a master, so let's go ahead and do and then open said master for another 150k. I don't like clue scrolls. Alright, now let's do 1 hour of normal Nechryaels, not the greater ones in the catacombs, but the normal ones in the Canifis Slayer Tower, simply with an Ash Sanctifier as well as a max melee setup and an SGS with divine super combats. High Alch is extremely necessary here because you're going to be getting a ton of rune two-handers as well as many other rune items. You do need level 80 Slayer in order to kill them, and you don't need the Ash Sanctifier, but it's just free prayer XP, so why not bring it? You're going to be getting a lot of runes here as well. Death, Chaos, Law, and Blood dropped at a really nice quantity, and similar to Gargoyles, they also are known to drop commonly a lot of coins for you, so it's up to you if you want to bring a Ring of Wealth to make this more AFK, but I just don't like losing that DPS from the Berserker Ring imbued. Just like almost every other monster in this video so far, they do drop hard clue scrolls, and other than that, you're just going to be getting a lot of seeds, and for me personally, I'll pick up any seed as long as it's over 1k because they do stack, and if you have access to a seed box, highly recommend you bring that to save more inventory space. And with that being said, our 1 hour of killing Nechryaels has come to an end, so let's go ahead and see the results. Overall, we got 80k strength XP an hour with an additional 11k prayer, 180 kills, 850k made with 50k used in supplies, so about a consistent 800k profit an hour. Not bad at all, especially if you're an Iron Man. Those drops are really good for Iron Man accounts and good for mains too. But from the clue scroll, 76k, not too bad at all. So far we've covered 8 good AFKable monsters to kill for decent profit an hour. Now we're going to finish off with 2 different activities that are not PVM related that you can do for decent profit an hour, and they're very AFK. So we're going to go ahead and buy 1,400 raw sharks, and we spent about 376k. Now I should have bought probably about 28 more sharks because I ended up having about 1 inventory left to do with my time left that I had. So for future reference, I think I can cook look like 1,428 raw sharks an hour rather than just 1,400. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second here when I get to the end, but it's very basic. You just need 99 cooking so you won't be burning any of these sharks. With lower level cooking gauntlets will help you out a lot so that you don't have to burn them as often or at all. So keep that in mind. I would not recommend this method for anyone who's below 89 cooking. So this is something viable at 90 cooking, just cooking these sharks. As you can see, I had about a minute and 45 seconds left, but overall I got 294k cooking XP in 1 hour. I did run out of sharks, so I'll just round up and say it's about 300k cooking XP per hour. And overall I did spend 376k and I ended up with 609k. So I made 230k profit an hour, 100% AFK, and it's really not too bad if you want to go for 200 mil cooking and making profit all at the same time. All right, let's move on to number 10, another activity, skilling related, 1 hour of mining Amethyst. And I figured I would do this on my Iron Man account because I do have a Celestial Ring unlocked on him, and he is 99 mining, so that's something to keep in mind. Amethyst is really only good when you're in the 90s because it's so slow. It's astronomically slow, making it so AFK. This is probably the most AFK-able thing next to Vyrewatch Sentinels on this top 10 list, but overall the profit is very consistent at 99 mining. A gem bag is pretty much the only thing you need. You'll also be getting some clue scrolls if you feel like banking those and doing them later, just in those little containers, as well as some living minerals, but those are just stackable anyway. Good odds of receiving a mining golem pet here, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And yeah, I mean, the only benefit about this is that it's very AFK and profitable. If you're an Iron Man, it's really good for long-term crafting, and you can create a lot of amethyst arrows and dart tips because of this method, but you are unlikely to mine 100 amethyst in 1 hour. You'll probably get very close. I believe I got to either 94 or 99 amethyst mined in 1 hour, but overall I did receive 24.4k XP, and it looks like we were shy, just one shy of 100. So we got 99 amethyst in 1 hour, 3 gems along with that, and 400k profit with minimal clicking, little to no effort required for this, which makes it stand out, and a consistent 400k. You know, you do that for 10 hours a day, that's 4 mil made from very little effort, which I love. So yeah, boosts are important though, and mining level very important as well. Well, we're going to go ahead and drop trade that over to the main because the only reason I didn't do that on my main was because I didn't have the ring. But 10 hours of money making methods AFK has been completed. I hope you guys learned something new that you didn't know from one of these activities. Maybe you want to go try it out yourself. Overall, I'm going to be selling everything before I show the 2 extra clips that I mentioned in the very beginning. With the clue scrolls completed as well as the blood shard, it looks like I made 14 mil from 10 hours of doing all of these AFK-able activities for 1 hour apiece. Not bad at all. All right, now let's move on to our extra 2 bonus clips. This is 1 hour of fishing anglerfish at 84 fishing. Why such low fishing, you may ask? Well, this account has been built from scratch, and we caught 13,000 lobsters, 9,500 sharks in order just to be able to reach anglerfish at level 82 fishing. And it's kind of nice to just know the profit of what you can expect right away when you start your anglerfish alt. A lot of people have them, like 4 in every world, I'd say, so it's a pretty popular alternate AFKing money-making method. So it's good to test at 84 fishing. It's very similar to 82, so once you get your angler alt started, this is the amount of profit you'll likely be making an hour. I've already received the fishing pet from lobsters at the fishing guild, so that's a goal marked off already, as it goes for the cats in the bank. If you do the Ardone diaries, each of those cats that you see in my bank there is 200 death runes apiece, so it's another good way to just get some more GP over a long period of time while just doing an AFKing activity. So with that being said, 1 hour of fishing anglerfish has been completed. I look forward to being 99 one day, but so far at level 84 we are racking in 160k GP an hour, and that's that. Now if you're not a fan of fishing, you're more of a lumberjack, well, I got you. We are gonna now be doing 1 hour of magic trees at 99 woodcutting. This time we're not on No Sleep Jr., we're on Swerve's house. My 20 defense peer long ago AFK'd 75 to 99 magics only, and I made about 40 mil from it if I recall. That was many years ago, so my numbers might be a little off, but this is a popular way to make some passive money, just little to no effort required. The woodcutting guild is packed in every world at the yew trees and the magic trees, so I imagine this is actually a popular method for people to maybe get the beaver pet as well as obtain some decent GP profit an hour with little to no effort. I think in total I banked like maybe 4 times in 1 hour, and I got about a quarter of an inventory into number 5. So all in all, 1 hour of chopping magics has been completed. No boosts or anything, just the woodcutting guild with a dragon axe, kept it as basic as possible. 122 magic logs were chopped in 1 hour, bringing the profit to 140k. So it's 140k at 99 woodcutting when you cut magics, and it's 160k at 84 fishing when you fish anglers. Something to keep in mind. Well, that is it for now, guys. 12 different AFK-able things that you can do on the side on your main account, or you can create an alternate account or an alternate Iron Man account and start your AFK journey today. This video took me one long day of 12 hours of grinding, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up making a little bit more money than I expected, and I also was able to purchase a bond, which nowadays it's about 9.5 mil for a bond. So AFKing on a side account will cost you about 9 mil every 14 days. So it is important to know which alternate AFKing money making methods you want to do to maximize your profit on all of your accounts across the year and months. And I hope you guys learned something new from this video. A big thank you to the YouTube channel members, with a special shout out to Angelzblood, DeceptionZ, and xXzoticx. Don't forget about Raid Shadow Legends sponsoring this video. Feel free to click the link in the description or scan my QR code, and all the new players who do that will be receiving the bonus. So big thank you to them as well. And a big thank you to you guys for watching today's video. Until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.